Thank you for staying with us. It is still the conversation here on Lagos Television. And yes, we know that we are still in the festive season. It is still Ileya Day 2. And we are looking at celebrating Ileya in Lagos then and now. And our guests will be taking us through how it used to be back in the days, how Ileya used to be celebrated, and what we have today. What are the things that have changed? What are the traditions that are still, that people are still keeping alive when it has to do with the celebration of Ileya? Joining us on the conversation is a public affairs analyst, Lukman Owolabiya. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine. Happy Eid.
Yes. And we also have our guest joining us via Zoom. He is a broadcaster, Wale Hassan. Can you hear us, Wale? Okay. Our engineers are checking that out, but I know that Wale will be joining this conversation via Zoom. But let's start here in the studio. Okay, Wale, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right, and Idil Kabir. Happy Eid.
Thank you very much. Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum.
Okay.
May Allah accept it from you and us.
I mean, okay, let me start with Lukman here in the studio. But the question is for both of you, so I'll just start with Lukman. Now we are talking about Ileya, and there are a lot of things that make the season memorable. Just before we came on, we were talking about eating ram. I said I've not eaten ram today. So, so for you, I'll come to you, Wale. But let me speak with Lukman here in the studio. For you, when you think about Ileya celebration, what are those things that are nostalgic when you think about Ileya growing up?
Oh, while growing up, Ileya was fun. It was one of those, festivals that we look up to. Because as kids, growing up on Lagos Island, when our parents buy ram like days before the Ileya. In fact, sometimes those back in the day will say, we'll compel our parents to buy like 2 weeks before Ileya, so that we can take the rams to go and fight.
Ram fight.
Yeah, the ram fight, beautiful ram fight. Everybody from the area, particularly in the Ologbo area, we converge at where you used to call Abebaga. Abebaga Bridge. That was the Baga Bridge. That was why you call it Abebaga back in the day. All through Elegbata and the rest of them. So we take our rams all over the place. We give them names, and then we go and challenge all the rams in the area. And then sometimes we bring it to the central area, which is Abebaga, and then we continue the fight. So if you are triumphant, you take your ram home, and you see multitude following you, chanting that this is the champion and all that. But if they defeat your ram, you'll also be defeated because you look dejected.
Yeah.
All those things. So we're always looking forward to it. Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, it never mattered. We were all together. Everybody knew everybody back in the day. So on the day of the Salah itself, when they have to, kill the ram, our parents will go for Eid. They'll go for Eid. They call it Eid, the prayer. So they will go. While they are gone, we'll also quickly look for who to do the last minute fight, ram fight with. Oh yes, because that's the last minute. So we quickly quickly take it for a challenge. There are some disasters have happened in the past where you do that and then the ram is killed. Oh yeah, it has happened before that the ram will just die. And then when your parents return, you'll discover that ram, where is the ram? They said, okay, Otiku. We are not doing Ileya this year. That's what it means. You cry and everybody, and you'll be beaten silly. That's not nobody can compromise that. And then eventually, if there's no disaster and they kill the ram, kids within the family will go for the esophagus. While killing the ram, they will give you the esophagus, the gullet. Yeah, exactly. So you are the one that will treat that one by yourself. You put stick inside it, then you wash it, put stick inside it, put salt, and then while they are roasting the head, you also go and put your own esophagus there because they roast the head separately. And they roast it separately. They will now remove the horn for you. So after all said and done, we'll also take the horn and put stick inside. We'll also use that one to go and do another round of fighting. Use that. So you put the stick inside, you'll be carrying it all over the place. Anyone to challenge you, you know, the horn fight, then you start hitting. The one that comes out of the tree is the loser. That one is the loser. Your own, if your own is standing gidigba, you are the champion again. So you go all out. So for days and days on, you do that even after the Ileya. So we are always looking out for all those kind of things. And then during the Ileya, because back in the day, many of those who celebrated the Ileya were actually purists. You know, they adhered to the real tradition and customs of it.
Okay, let's also beautiful memories that you have shared. I'm just imagining them. Let's come to Wale over there. I know you are in the diaspora, but again, what was it like celebrating Ileya while growing up? What were those memories that whenever you think about, you just smile and wish you were back home now?
Thank you very much. I'm really, really excited. Coming on here today, talking about the past memories is also a kind of nostalgic for me. And you wouldn't want to even compare it, what we had as Ileya in Nigeria and what we are having as Ileya. That is what I have here. Because, sincerely speaking, you wouldn't compare it. They are just miles apart. They are sincerely miles apart. I think someone is trying to call me. No. I will rather say, starting this, I grew up in Mushin area. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I grew up in Mushin. We also have, in my area, we also have our own heavyweight champion, Lion Power, bullfighting experience. But personally, I was brought up to know that you should treat all the animals with kindness, but that bullfighting is not just a crime, that is even a moral sin. That's a sin, we shouldn't bullfight. I do have my elders who tried it, and of course, we lost a ram that year. We couldn't slaughter that ram, and it's a big problem. That was another experience. But on a very personal note, Ileya has several aspects for me. Personal, one, even social. It's a way for you, it's a time for you to know how many friends you have. As our other guests noted, be you a Muslim, Christian, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, whoever, we all share in the ram, as we much share the rice, the jollof rice and chicken and turkey during Christmas too. That's the way we are brought up. We also have the opportunity of having new clothes, even if you have very nice clothes before, but for Ileya especially, you must have new clothes. And don't forget that white singlet. That white singlet, you must also have that white singlet. And for the ladies, you have what we call shimi, talking about dressing. Now, on that early morning, you are told not to eat yet, which I don't understand then. But why wouldn't I eat? It's early in the morning, around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, when you should have had your breakfast. And we are also celebrating. But it's only later on that we get to know that the story behind the sacrifice of the animals is far more than just eating, feasting. It is more of submission to God Almighty. It is more of sacrifice. It's more of obedience. Talking about the narrative of Prophet Ibrahim, alayhi salatu wasalam, and his son, as well as Hagar in the Bible. These are testimonies that whatever you do, you must learn to submit yourself to God. And Ileya, to me, is also a very big social event, in the sense that whatever we do, I'm sorry, if I have to go on landscape, I may have to cut. Probably I'll come back.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Okay, it's okay then. We'll just continue. It's fine.
You can continue with others then.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Wale, for sharing your own memories of Ileya. And so he had the experience of losing a ram.
Yes. Many people had that experience.
Okay. And still talking about memories and how Ileya used to be celebrated back then and now. Then we had a lot of communal living.
Oh, yes.
You had a lot of, life was simple. You have, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, you have people visiting, sharing of rice and the ram meat that we are yet to eat.
Yes.
So I'd like you to talk about that. Do you think we still have that spirit of communal living now compared to how it was back then?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be analog. It's like comparing analog to digital. Things have changed. Even back in the day, we just had to be communal. If you look a whole street, I was living on Akmogbon Street, right? Long before they decided to build that bridge on Akmogbon Street. Yeah, it was my house. My house was, brought down just to build the bridge. Yeah, in 1976. So it was when you like on a street, the whole of Akmogbon Street, I can say that those who had television sets, the families that had television sets, we are not more than 5 or 6. So, and you had to watch television. So you go to other people's house to watch television. You might be invited in sometimes if you are close to them. Otherwise, you stay outside and watch through the window. So when the man says, "I want one," okay, you already know. They know each family. We used to have one, Mr. Akpara. He was an Ejesha man, but he was well grounded in Lagos. He was the photographer of, official photographer of the Island Club back in the day. When he had a Russian car like this, holding very big car, when it comes down from Akmogbon Bridge, that's the bridge that comes into Akmogbon. By the time it's coming, all those boys within the area, when they see the car, everybody will run. Because if he catches you doing anything untowards within the area, he knows you. He will go to your house and pick you out. In front of your parents, he will beat you, flog you there, and your parents cannot do anything about it. So it was that discipline, that level of discipline. So it was communal. So when you do something bad, they can already pinpoint you. So back in the day, when we are sharing the Ileya ram, because what they normally do back in the day was that they would share the old ram into 3. One will be for the household. The other one will be the one that they will distribute all over the place. And the third one is the one they will cook for everybody to come and eat. So the one that we distribute will be struggling, that we should be the one to take them away, and give them out. Because we know that by the time we give the ram out, they will give us, like kobo, that kind of thing. They will give us, and then we are always very rich back on the Ileya day, because you'll struggle anywhere. All those Christians living, within the neighborhood, they will package, the rice, the white rice, and the Ileya meat and everything for them. So we'll carry it to them. Back in the day, in Ologbo, we'll take to the Goyes, we'll take to the Ajaos, we'll take to the Amojes, we'll take to the Williams, we'll take to the Coles, all those places, all those families. Then after all said and done, I'll also go and, play with the Shita Bays, the Lagudas. Everybody was just moving around that day. It was as if we couldn't have enough of the fun. So all those things, it was communal for us to do that. But now, they don't even share the ram into 3 anymore. So what they do is people just kill the rams. In fact, most of the time now, they will first of all kill cow. Yeah, they kill the cow, and then they start doing that, and then the rams will come later. Back then, we will eat the rice. After eating the rice, then they fry the meat. Then the meat afterwards, we now eat the fried meat. After eating the one with the rice, the one with the rice probably was not even fried. Some will be fried. So all those things were things we always look forward to. Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, it never mattered. We'll do that. And then, because they were insistent on the principle of sacrifice, you know, promise. I mean, the whole idea about Ileya is about promise. You know, when Ibrahim made promise to God that if you give me a child, I will sacrifice him for you. You know, because Ibrahim did not, even in his old age, he didn't have any child. So he made that promise to God. And God said, okay, you will fulfill that promise.
You know, because we talked about this yesterday and we had a shake here, and amidst or away from the eating of meat and festivities, it also draws us back to understanding the essence of the season, which is sacrifice and obedience. And so again, looking at, because cost of living at that time is not costing like it's costing now. Things have really changed. And let's look at how Nigerians are celebrating Ileya, looking at the price of ram. How much is ram now? I don't know how much is ram now.
You can buy a ram for 1 million naira.
And so I also want us to look at how the economy has affected the celebration of Ileya, because then life was simple. Things were not as expensive as it is now. So people could afford to buy rams and celebrate. But this day, if a ram is 1 million naira, come on, how many people will be able to afford that except for the very wealthy people? So let's look at how the economy has affected the celebration of Ileya.
You see, definitely the economy will affect anything. I've been, for over 50 years at least, I've been hearing parents, you know, neighbors and everybody say, so it is every year that you hear it, that things are tough. I've never witnessed any occasion where people will say, it is too convenient for us this year. I've never witnessed it. So those in Conley, things are hard.
Will always be there.
Will always be there. Even from now till eternity, it will always be there. And we are used to it. So whether in Conley or in Conley, we will still do this Ileya. And that is exactly what you're saying, what we're saying. That's why Yorubas will say, somebody else will interpret that later. So,
okay, I'm trying to process it.
You're trying to process it. So those who will still kill the ram will kill the ram, whether it is expensive or not.
Yeah, because even to add to it, because I passed through the Kara market and there's no money, there's no money. People are buying. In fact, this morning I saw them offloading camels. And people are buying.
So they will still kill because of the principle behind it, the principle of sacrifice, the principle of obedience, the principle of, you know, making a promise and adhering to it and seeing that the promise, you know, like somebody wants to kill his son. I mean, you can imagine somebody wants to kill his son as a sacrifice just to redeem his promise. And then the angel Gabriel now came with a ram and says, take this ram, don't kill the child. We have seen that you have the intent of fulfilling your promise. You know, Malaika Jubrila was so fun Anobi Ibrahim Pigbagbo fun nene. You know, so you are no longer killing your child.
There's a substitute.
We will substitute your child with this ram. That's why Muslims now kill rams, sacrifice for Ileya.
Yeah. Wale, you're back. Can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear you, Wale.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
All right. So
I'm so sorry for the mix up the other time.
It's okay. To take it up from where Lukman stopped, he has just explained to us the reason why Muslims slaughter ram. It's a sacred thing during the season of Ileya. But I'd like you to also speak on the spiritual essence of this season. What are the values that Muslims must continue to imbibe in this season, away from the eating of fried meat and merriment with families? What are the values, the spiritual essence of this season?
Thank you so much. I again apologize to our viewers for the break. However, addressing the question you raised, the first and the most important is the lesson of obedience. Submitting yourself, subjecting yourself to the order of God Almighty. It wasn't easy for Ibrahim, and of course, looking at the position of Abraham to all the monotheistic religions, both Judaism, Islam, as well as Christianity. We know him to be the father of faith. Now, what led to his becoming such, it's called Khalilullah, the bosom friend of God Almighty. So what led him to that was because he was totally submissive to God. When he was commanded to leave his family, his only son, then with the mother in the desert, it looks insane. You can't explain it. But he did what he has been commanded to do. And that is one. Secondly, when you also look at it from the perspective of the woman, a woman that has just given birth and is being, quote and unquote, abandoned in a desert, a desolate place where nothing is growing. However, but she accepted that faith. That is another thing. Eventually, part of the story of Ileya festival, Idul Adha, is when Ismail, that's the son then, Ishmael, in the Bible, when he grew up and he was because Abraham returned. And when he was told that, okay, you have to be sacrificed to God Almighty, he said, as quoted in the Quran, that do what you had been commanded to do. Now, there's one very important aspect that I wouldn't want us to overlook. That is what made Ibrahim والسلام, to be so good to the extent that the woman will accept whatever he has commanded. What would make a child accept being sacrificed by God of his father is because Ibrahim والسلام, happened to be a role model. If he had not been a good husband, if he had not been a worthy father, would any child accept such from him? No. That is one big thing that we have to look at. You as a leader, are you good enough to claim to be a role model to the world, to the people you are leading, to your family? These are things that we can't overlook. And we cannot overemphasize the fact that it takes the family to build a village. It takes a village to build a nation. It takes nations to also build the world. We are in the situation we are right now in the world because of what individuals do. It's time for us to go back to God in obedience. Be you a Jew, a Muslim, a Christian, whoever you are. Be the role model that preach what, practice what you preach. It's very vital. This is a message of obedience. This is a message of Idul Adha.
Thank you so much, Wale. Lukman, would you want to add to what Wale has said?
No, you have spoken about the spiritual significance. I also alluded to it and spoke about the sacrifice, about the obedience, and about keeping your promise. Yeah. For those who would want to live a life of spirituality, about keeping to the promise and being a role model, as I said, which is also very important. You have to be a role model. So, and that's what we saw back in the day. Our parents were role models to us. The way they behaved, the way they did their things. It would be very diligent. And that Ileya day, it will bring out the rams that will kill us and share into three. One will be kept at home. The other one will be killed. I mean, the other one, because it will normally buys the 3 rams. One will be shared to the people. And those who were at the first bank, working with him, he was working with First Bank. Those who were in First Bank, they already knew what was coming to them, because it will envelope everything and write their names on it, and he was doing it diligently for as many years as I knew him before he passed on. So he was diligent in everything. So if I was killing a ram today, I would have taken after precepts like that. So you have to look at what role models have done. But as I said, this is a digital area, especially now that many of these Gen Zs, do their own thing.
Exactly where I'm coming
Yeah,
to now.
because
Social
now,
media has
social
changed
media,
a lot of things.
everything has changed. They have digitalized everything. We are now in the jet age, and people do whatever. You just go to Ileya party now, and it's a party, that they do now. They don't share rounds anywhere. You just come and sit down and eat and wash it down with any kind of lager. Back then, it was
It's
soft
not
drinks.
like that.
Yeah, it was soft drinks that they will put on the table for you. But now, kind of lager, the whiskey and the rest of it, it's just an opportunity for merriment now. So the spirituality, the essence of it has been completely eroded. But I mean, we go along with the times. Yeah. Back in the day, Jesus was riding a camel to Jerusalem. If he has to do it now, I'm sure he will take a jet.
Okay, I'm still taking it from where you stopped, social media. So yesterday on my way to work, I left the house like around past 7, and I saw someone in my city, they already killed their cow around past 7, and I was like, is it not too early to kill? Because I know that you go for prayers first and come back.
And then come back.
On my way back, I saw big canopies everywhere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so, Wale, I wanted to address how these celebrations have evolved. Are people really celebrating the way they should, or they are now celebrating based on status, and, the spirituality part of it is beginning to diminish?
Humility is lacking in the world. Everyone seems to be willing, too eager to show off. Ileya is gradually becoming a status marker, the type of ram, or how big the ram is, and how much of a party you can throw. Sadly enough, the Ileya meat is now being fried. After being fried, it's being shared and being gulped with bottles of alcohol. All these are just contrary to the teachings. To answer your question straight, we are not celebrating Ileya, or should I say, a lot of people are not celebrating the Eid how it should be celebrated. Take note, the first 10 days of the Hajj is the time for us to really recommit ourselves to God. That's the time during Hajj when everybody, whoever you are, you totally submit yourself. Is this the time for you to now throw fanfare, jumping up and down? Fine. The teachings of Islam is that you should allow the children, especially, and the women to really enjoy themselves, but there are limits to what you need to enjoy yourselves with. We should take this time to cater for the less privileged in the community, to share, to also bring about bond with your neighbors. The Ileya meat, the feast is actually to be shared into 3. You take part of it. The second part for those who will definitely ask for it. The third part for those who will not ask for it, but you know that it's going to benefit them. Are we doing this? No. Celebration is not just about the fanfare. It's more about the impact it has in our lives as individuals as well as a community. To answer again, we are not really celebrating the way we should celebrate. But it's never too late. It's never too late. You can still go back.
Absolutely. It's never too late to make a change and celebrate the right way. So let's come back to you now. You shared with us your experience as a child, celebrating Ileya, and looking at the way things are today. Are children really having a beautiful experience about Ileya? I mean, if I have a 10-year-old, in the next 10 years, that child will be 20. And I ask, so what were your childhood experiences about Ileya? It can never be like what you shared with me.
No, it can never be. It can never, because it cannot capture that. When I explained to my son how, because I took them out yesterday, and for them it was, where we went, it was just a party, because they couldn't understand how the children within the household would behave, how they will wear the, that ashwebi, the Ankara that they will sew for everybody. And then we'll be struggling for the esophagus, which we call go. You know, that's the one that they will give us, and then we'll put stick inside and go and fry ourselves, because you do it yourself. That's the beauty of it. Nobody will help you to do it. You do it. So whatever it is, if it is burnt, you eat it that way. If you do it well, you eat it the same way. So all those kind of things will create fun. When, you know, ladies, the girls, you know, within the family, they will use a straightening comb, you know, to comb out their hair, you know, despite the pains that they feel when they are using the stretching comb and all that. So all those
Beauty
things.
is pain.
Yeah, you know, like sweet savage love. So all those kind of things were fun to us. And the fact that we're going to make some money, you know, by taking the stuff and going to give to families all around, particularly the Christian families that I don't kill ram, and they will happily collect, you know, with the least suspicion. Now, when you take food to people, they will look at it with suspicion, as if, I don't know, I'm not sure where this is coming from, you know, because we don't have that communal living again. That brotherhood is long gone. So we are just having fun, whichever way now. You'll go and give some people the ram meat now, and they'll just throw in their bin. Because they are not even sure whether you want to harm them or not. So the distrust is rampant here now. So unlike what used to happen in the past, when we all grew up together and each family knew the other one, and, you know, we had complete trust, and there was complete togetherness, you know, within the neighborhood. Things have changed. We have to live with it.
All right, Wale, before we let you go, what message would you like to share with everyone regarding this festive season?
Well, my message is actually that it's never too late for us to learn from whatever messages the celebration has brought to all of us. It's also a good opportunity for you. It is an opportunity for you to reconstruct yourself, re-energize yourself about the community. It's about sacrifice, about leadership. It's about role modeling. It's also a good opportunity for everyone to rebuild the family. If things are good, let's check into the family. If things are awry, then I think the family should also be questioned. I wish everyone a happy Eid celebration, and of course, pray for our nation that may God Almighty heal us. Things are not easy, both at home and abroad, but with faith, everything is possible.
And thank you so much, Wale Hazard, for sharing your insight on this beautiful topic. Now we can release you. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. So let me continue with you here in the studio. Lagos nightlife is one that is a beautiful experience. It has come to stay. And again, on my way yesterday in the night, driving around my area, I mean, there was traffic, and I'm like, what's going on in my area? So there are canopies here and there. You know, people were enjoying themselves, and, you know, it's beautiful to see and watch. I'd like you to also talk about how the Ileya Festival has also how it has also contributed to the nightlife time, especially not just only about Ileya, but even when it's Christmas or whatever festivities that we have, how it's also merged into the nightlife system in Lagos.
Well, I'm not sure whether we really have nightlife in Lagos anymore. You know, back in the day, you know, we just stay within the area. Anytime you sleep is okay. No, without fear of, you know, people or night marauders coming to attack you, or because within the community, there's a sense of security. There's a sense of who will come from somewhere, you know, when all of us are awake. You know, there's that collective spirit of watching your area. There used to be one, back in the day in Ologbo, we call one woman Yamuka. She used to, you know, sell rice and cow leg and all those stuff. They normally start around 12.
Midnight. Yeah,
midnight. And people will come from far and wide to come and buy back in the day. Some people will come from, I remember Cash Madam, will come from Bisilola Idionshire, Cash Madam, the real Cash Madam. You know, she used to come to my house, to her house. My aunt was Yadada, you know, all those people that Yusuf Olatunji eulogized back in the day. Sherifa to Ashake, Yadada. So they used to come to our area because our area was so common for good food. And those who have moved from the island back in the day, moved to Surulere, because Yadada was living on Ogunlano. So they will send someone to come and buy Iyamuka's rice that starts at 12 a.m. That's midnight. They will come. Then they will come. There's another one on the near the Ajao's house called Tuoba. You know, people will come from far away. The Tuoba starts in the night, maybe like around 7. That's when they will send people to come from, you know, Shogunle and all the rest, those that have left island, to come and buy Tuoba with Egunbogo, you know, all those. Yeah, you know, they will come and they will come to my house. I will lead them there. Sometimes we eat part of the meat when we are. So all those kind of things we did. So it was a situation where people absolutely just enjoyed themselves. From there, they would go to West End. West End was like the disco area. You know, there used to be a restaurant we call Automatic. People would go there. You know, the expatriates too will come there. We'll go to UTC. UTC was just down the road. Yakubu Gowon Street, now Broad Street. You know, we'll go there. People will just go and come back. There used to be from the bridge that enters Akongmo at night, particularly around 11, 12, we'll do what we call ambulance kole kole.
What's that?
Ambulance kole kole was you tie your wrapper around your waist, then you hold it like this. It now appears like a parachute. Then we'll be coming because it will be very windy because you know the wind coming from the marina and all stuff. So you'll now be running down from the bridge as if sometimes it will want to lift you. You know, you can imagine like 20 area boys and girls doing that at the same time and shouting ambulance kole kole and going all over the street doing that. And then when it's the season for kites, you know, we'll make kites with a newspaper, we'll make kites and we'll go to back of UTC, the quayside. We'll then fly our kites. Sometimes we lose it and then we run all over the place, sometimes up to Ido. Yeah, to go and retrieve our kites. So, and all those people, there used to be an area we call quayside. That's where people buy what we call wares. You know, all the things we wear now, they call them wares or spoots. You know, people will go there to go and buy Julian shirts, and that was Copperfield. Copperfield was it was an establishment that was made to reproduce safaris and shirts, silk shirts, and the rest of it. They took after Julian in Italy. So that was when they employed Jide Okono. You must have heard about him. Oh, my friend, Baba Jide O Ayonfe. That was what King Sunny Ade at Aria nightclub used to do. So they will do all that. So it was just fun all over the place. People moved from Aria nightclub to Kakadu, to Mama Koko, you know, to Fela Shrine. That was Kalakuta. From there, they moved to Phase 2, Paradiso, Lord's nightclub. Lord's nightclub was in even in Maryland.
I'm trying to paint those pictures in my head. And
Lord's nightclub was in Maryland. And all those Yaba, Jibowu areas, we have Paradiso, we have Phase 2, we have all those. So Lagos was just fun. People were having fun, and they had no inhibitions about, not that there was plenty money in town, but you know,
life was simple.
Life was simple, and all the Ayes Adewales will come. Awofala will be playing. And then Ayes Adewale's mom will come and say, hey, Ishawu, oh ní kọ́lé ìranù ló ń fowó ṣe, and then he will say, mommy, Ọlọ́run ló ń kọ́lé fún yàn. Because I can sit here all day and
on
give you
and on, and you can take us back memory lane. But it was, I can say that
it was just
really
fun.
had
It was
an
just
eventful
fun. We
childhood.
had
Yeah.
the mighty fun.
Yeah.
Well,
What I can say is that celebrations may evolve, as you have said. The way it used to be is not the way it is now. But again, we must not forget the essence of the season, which has to do with sacrifice and obedience. Thank you so much, Lukman Owolabi, for sharing your experience on how Ileya used to be back in the days and now. It was, and also thank you to Wale Hassan, who joined us over via Zoom, rather. The conversation continues. Stay with us.